reminding you the best Mother's Day gift isn't flowers. It's a subscription to Daily Wire Plus to watch the debut of Mr. Birchum, Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get on a church. We're going to mandate. Get it on. And welcome to the show. Brian Simpson, very funny comedian. He's got a stand-up special. Brian Simpson, live from the Mothership. It's streaming on Netflix. I watched it when it came out 3.5 weeks ago.
Yeah, just about, yeah.
Something there. I didn't know Brian was coming in. I just watched it because I was interested. And it was really good. And Brian's got a laid-back style, but not so laid back that he doesn't finish everything with a good, strong joke, which you can be laid back as long as you finish with something strong.
Yeah, that just came out of necessity because I had low blood sugar when I started. So I got to reserve my energy for the punchlines.
Yeah, he gets up there, pulls up a stool, and at first you're kind of like, who is this cat? Like, it's so laid back and so
really
conversational,
relaxed.
and then it always ends with a good, strong joke. So
Thank you.
Nice. I really enjoyed the special. So you moved out to Austin a couple of years ago?
Yeah, just about, a couple years ago.
From L.A.?
From L.A., yeah.
And what was the motivation behind that?
Oh, because Joe Rogan was like, hey, man, we doing something special out here. Come out. And I was like, all right. You know, I mean, it wasn't an immediate decision. I'd been, a lot of my friends had moved out there during the pandemic because you couldn't do comedy here.
Right.
And so I was just out there visiting them.
Mm-hmm.
And then Joe just called me out of nowhere. It was like, yeah, I got your number from Segura. Come down to the Vulcan, check it out. And we did a couple shows. And he was like, oh, you got it. Like, any way I can help you, I'll help you. And I'm building this club, And I was like, all right. And then at that time, I was just on the road a lot. And I remember coming back here. It was one of those situations where, like, I was home for 2 days, back on the road. Home for 2 days, back on the road. And I put in for some spots, and I didn't get any spots.
Out here.
Right. And then it happened again the next week, and I was like, man. But and it just hit me, like, every time I go to Austin, I have a great time and I make some good money. It's like, what? So if I'm always gone and coming back somewhere where I'm not happy, then why not get out of here?
So you're out here for Netflix as a joke?
Yeah, I'm out here for Netflix as a joke, yeah.
You did the Comedy Store last night?
I did the Comedy Store last night and Tuesday. I got to do the Two Bears 5K, which was awesome.
Yeah, what is that?
It was just a 5K like charity race. I think you pay a fee to run.
How'd you do?
I didn't time it. Me and Ari, we went last, and we left last and came back last.
Nice.
I just kind of enjoyed it. I mostly strolled.
Mm-hmm.
I ran when the cameras were watching, just for the, we got to get the content.
What is a 5K, like 3 miles?
It's 3.2 miles.
3.2?
Yeah.
Are you going in the Coliseum and on the track?
No, it was mostly on the street.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and which is funny, but it's weird for me because I was in the Marine Corps for 5 years, and 3 miles. It's about 3 miles. 3 miles used to be breakfast, and so it was weird to literally be struggling within the first 100 feet.
5 years is a strange number for the Marine Corps, isn't it? I thought it was always 4 years or 8 years or something.
It is, but if you have, and I think this is true of all the branches, if you have a job that requires the school to be longer than 6 months, you have to sign for an extra year because they're not really getting that time out of you.
What school were you in? I
was in a tactical air operations module repairman school. Mm-hmm. So it was a tech job. So the school was 11 months. So, they're like, we're going to get them 4 years out of you.
Is there any practical real world application for that training and that skill?
Oh, yeah. I mean, because the real skill is learning how to troubleshoot. Mm-hmm. That's most of the school. And if you know how to troubleshoot and you understand how something works, you can at least identify what the problem is. Mm-hmm. So even if it's something that I'm not even that familiar with, if I understand the basic of how it works, then I know by process of elimination what the problem is. So that skills have been useful ever since.
And you're out here, you're doing Netflix, you're doing your own thing, you're doing some other stuff too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm out here supporting the homies too. Like, I watch Tony Hinchcliffe do the roast of Tom Brady. That was awesome.
He killed it. Yeah, that was great.
And Shane Gillis is premiering his Netflix show Tires. So, everybody all the Austin people are, out here doing something,
Yeah, I don't know. I heard about that show, the Shane Gillis show, but I don't know what it is exactly.
It's just a sitcom. I think that because Shane, they've always made like dope shit. Like he has a sketch show called Gilly and Keeves that's just on YouTube, and it's like some of the best sketches I've ever seen. And they were just making it, And I think now that he's super popular, Netflix is like, well, let us get some of that,
I was out last night doing a show with, Jay Moore, Jay Leno, Rob Schneider, and T.J. Miller.
Oh, wow.
And it was all great. I'll tell you some stories. But, it struck me as I went on last, so I was just watching everybody act, And the interesting thing about comedy is you get Jay Moore gets up there first. He's completely different than Jay Leno, who goes on after him. And then there's T.J. Miller's completely different than those two. And then there's Rob Schneider's completely different than all who came before him. And then there's me, who's the same as Rob Schneider. So
I'll tell you what the through line is, what everyone has in common, is they all sound like they on cocaine when they sober. They all got like cocaine energy.
Definitely T.J. Miller has that, and probably more. And Leno was sweet. Leno showed up. He brought his wife, Mavis. Mavis is, in decent health and spirits, but you can tell she's a little off. She's having, some issues. But he brought her, and I met him down in the parking structure and walked him up to the club and so forth, and it was nice. I stood next to Mavis during Jay's set, and she's going through some health issues.
She's battling dementia.
And you can sort of see the effects of it, but she's still all there. And it was really sweet. Half the jokes, when he'd give the punchline, she'd lean over to me and go, "That one was mine." Okay, I'm not going to here to argue with you.
Oh, it's like Muhammad Ali hearing a bell, it just brings him back.
Just pops up. Yeah. So it was sweet. They were nice. It was. T.J. Miller ran the light by about 15 minutes.
15. Wow.
It did a half-hour set. Actually, Jay ran the light by about. He did about 22, 23 minutes. And then the problem is when the first guy runs the light, then everyone who goes after just goes, well, now we're gonna run the light.
Yeah, we off time anyway.
Right. But they had a late show, and I was going on last. So now by the time I hit the stage, it's the time the late show is supposed to start. And now I feel bad because there's a room full of comedians for the late show that are waiting to get out there.
But there's an audience that came to Adam Carolla and Friends.
Yes, and everyone who came before me ran the light. So now I'm in this weird position. So
what'd you do?
I figured I would just run the light by about 5 or 6 minutes or something. Get a little extra in there.
I think that's a good compromise.
Plus, I think my sister came to the show, and I don't think she's ever seen me do stand-up.
What?
Or any form of entertainment.
See, he's surprised that she's never seen you. I'm just surprised she came.
That's right. Right.
Wow.
How did that come about?
I was talking to her, and she said she saw an advertisement. Probably saw Leno on there and was like, "Hey." So I said, "Yeah, well, come on."
But I mean,
down.
has she been actively avoiding seeing you?
No, you don't have to actively avoid seeing comedians. Just stay home. You don't have to burn a lot of calories not seeing.
But I mean, you have such a long career. It just seems impossible that your sister's never seen you perform.
I don't know. I cannot say for sure that she's never seen me do anything on TV.
Okay.
But I can tell you she's never been in the room before or in the audience or something of that nature. So that was interesting and a little different because I'm not used to going on stage thinking, oh, there's somebody who knows me.
It kind of throws me off a little bit. I don't like any of my family or friends. I don't like them to sit where I can see them.
Oh, it can't help.
No, put them in the third, right behind where the lights
Right.
You know,
I didn't want to know they're there.
Yeah.
People always do this thing where they go, "Don't you want the support?" And it's like, no.
Or right before I go in, they come in, hey, so your guests are here. Don't tell me that.
Right.
Just let me think they didn't make it on time or something.
Yeah, and by the way, the support, that's the audience. You just have to do your job as a comedian, and they shall support you. But that was fun. And
any review after the show? Did she say anything?
no, just got good job. Just got a good job, which is good. No, I was expecting a little review.
Is this your older sister or younger sister?
She's 1 year older.
Okay.
And I think I was able to get all these great comedians into the same room, so I think that helped. But she was great.
Yeah, that says a lot, man. A lot of people make it this far in their career and they got no friends. That's what scares the fuck out of me.
Oh, really?
Oh man, being lonely and famous, that's almost as bad as being broke and famous.
Yeah, you have to kind of figure out as you travel along this path, who are the people you kept up with, who are the people that don't like you, why is it, where was the rift, how much of it is on you. If you stick around for a while, there's just going to be people you used to like and you don't like, and they don't like you. Really about all you can do is if you worked in this business for a while and you worked with some production company and they want to do something else with you, that's a good sign. Because if you go through the whole series and you're done and at the end they go, never again, never going to work with that guy again, that's a bad sign. It's basically like having a roommate for a year and then going, yeah, I'm still friends.
Yeah, break the lease.
Yeah. So Leno showed up with his wife. He couldn't find where to park. This thing's at the Kookaburra Lounge. It's on like the 4th floor of the Hollywood Highland complex that closed off Hollywood Boulevard.
Brand new venue. Nobody's been there.
Jay was calling me. I don't know where I am. What's going on? Where are we? I go, I don't know where this place is either. I'm stuck in traffic for Hollywood Bowl traffic and trying to figure out where we are. And he's like, where do I park? I'm like, I don't know. He starts going down the wrong ramp. I hear him talking to a guy. I love it in LA when people ask questions. Like you hear the woman with the thick a Spanish accent, and she's going like $12, and he's going, do you know where the Kookaburra? And I'm like, Jay, he doesn't know shit. She wants $12. She doesn't know where the fuck she is right now. There's no way she's picked out the location of the new comedy club up on the 4th floor. Right. And Kookaburra doesn't mean she's hearing Chupacabra right now. She's not hearing Kookaburra. So back it out. So I literally walk all the way up the parking ramp and go out in the street and find Jay and Mavis putting around in his Fiat and get him down there.
A Fiat?
Yeah, Jay has Duesenbergs and, multi-million-dollar cars, but the car, if you say to Jay, what's your favorite car? He'll go, it's my wife has an electric Fiat. It's as big as a cat turd. Right. New was $23,000. This thing's 7 years old. It's probably worth $11,000, and he just puts his wife in it, and they drive over from Beverly Hills.
I feel like if my problem was dementia, I would be prepared to hit stuff. A Fiat would make me not feel safe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because that thing's gonna fold. That thing might not survive a bicycle.
Yeah, that's true. Like one well-placed moped, right. You could be down for the count in the Fiat. Well, Jay's an excellent driver. Yeah. Not so much with the steam cars, but more with the electric cars. Yeah. And they showed up. They made it in. Everybody, everyone showed up. Everyone was fun. T.J. Miller's a really interesting guy. He's got stuff going on, like a lot of stuff going on in his head. Yeah. But it's mostly good.
Okay, yeah. I've never met him personally, but I think that's an accurate description from what I've seen.
Yeah, he's an artist. Like he's a really good actor. Like he's a really good comedic actor, and he's a good stand-up. Yeah,
he's like comedy Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Just like a little unstable, but not so much that you feel unsafe.
Right.
Yeah. And you know how he got his start? We got to find this video.
Oh yeah.
He wanted to be cast in Yogi Bear, like the live action Yogi Bear comedy movie.
Right.
13 years ago. I don't know how long ago it was. 15 years ago. He wanted to be cast in this movie as an unknown actor. So he hired an actual bear and did his audition with a live bear. What year is this thing from? What year was the movie from? Would have to be, it's got to be 14, 15 years
2010, I'm seeing. Well, it came out in 2010.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my 14, 15 was dead nuts on because it came out 14, but they probably did it 15 years ago. And unknown TJ Miller videotaped himself with a live bear.
And it worked.
I think it worked. I can't even.
It would definitely have everybody talking about you. Those casting directors will remember you.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, he was in it.
There's a vid somewhere of, let's see, TJ Miller as Ranger Jones. Bam Bam as Yogi the Bear. Okay, let's see if we can see this. But innovative, motivated.
This is crazy.
Yeah, you've never seen this, huh?
No, I never even heard the story.
Let's see. We'll hit play. I guess we're ready. Audition for TJ Miller for Yogi the Bear.
So obviously you've seen what I can do in the room, but now I'd like to give you more of an idea of what I'm like interacting with a real bear for this audition for Yogi the Bear. Ready? Want to say your name and slate? Okay. TJ Miller, Yogi the Bear. Hey, Yogi, what are you doing? Yeah, that's what I thought. Have you been stealing picnic baskets? You have? You've been told not to do that. Where's Boo Boo? Well, tell him to come back here. This is much more nerve-wracking than I expected. Next scene. I'll be playing Ranger Jones in this scene. The bear will be playing Ranger Smith.
This is terrifying.
Here you go. Here are your sides.
The bear's reaching out for his sides. Now he's eating them.
Those are more to be read than anything. It's just
eating the side.
Okay, let's start. Ranger Smith, we've got a 423 in Redwood Valley. A bear disturbance, sir. Okay, copy that. Want to give him back, or what's happening here? You're not taking this seriously.
All right.
Or at least you're not helping me get the job.
It's funny.
You understand what I'm saying?
I mean, that's kind of who he is.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Very unhinged.
Yeah, and effective. And that's when the world met TJ Miller.
Holy shit.
I remember him from Cloverfield. I think that was even before that. You remember Cloverfield?
Oh yeah, let's break that down.
Was that like the shaky cam?
Yeah.
He was the cameraman, so you didn't see him, but you just heard him.
Yeah, Cloverfield was like 08, 09, 07, 08. Like I went and saw that when I was doing morning radio, and they had the sneak preview or whatever. They would take the cast of the morning radio and they would show. You ever do one of those things?
Oh yeah.
I did one. Me and Kimmel and Kevin and Bean and the whole morning show went and saw Pulp Fiction in a private screening room.
Oh, that's awesome.
A month before it came out, and we knew nothing other than there's this movie and you can watch it for free, and we all just sat there and went, "Holy shit!"
That must have been mind blowing.
Yeah, it was. It's the best way to see a movie.
I agree. That's how I first saw Kill Bill.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was in the training, so I didn't know any of the preview. I didn't see any previews or anything. It was just the only thing showing at this theater in Yuma, Arizona, which is a shithole.
Yeah.
And they didn't check my ticket when I went in, so then I just snuck back in and watched it again.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, but it was unbelievable.
Double feature.
You watched it 2 times.
I mean, any movie that starts with somebody getting shot in the head has my attention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially when they don't explain it.
Mm-hmm. I saw Reservoir Dogs the same way. It was just in the local theater, and I just went there. Like I don't even know what this is.
Yeah, I wonder if any of the major studios would ever consider just not marketing, just letting people see it for the first time and just trust the word of mouth.
Hear about it.
Yeah, Well, first off, no amount of marketing can overcome a bad movie, right? The bad movies, they just hit you over the head. And then you watch, we're talking about this off the air, when you come out with a bad stand-up special, you're actually advertising against yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, how many trailers have you seen for movies where they were advertising to you, but you went, pass? You know what I mean? Like, just you saw a 2-minute trailer and you're like, nah, I'm not going to watch it.
Right. No way I would see it now.
If you just gave me the title and maybe a little word of mouth, I could be intrigued.
Yeah.
But not now.
But it's again. You know what? But I started being a lot less harsh on bad movies and shows because now that I'm in the business somewhat, I realize how much of a miracle it is that anything even makes it to the point where I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how many? Because you can start out with the greatest idea you've ever had, but it's got to go through so many filters before it even comes out that it coming out's a miracle. It coming out and still being good is
relevant.
It's impossible.
It's everybody should try to make a romantic comedy. Write it, direct it, star in it, and then tell me how much judgment you want to pass on the ones you go, I wasn't feeling it, Right. And you should all try to do a weekend of sketches like SNL, and then tell me your critiques of SNL. Because they've done this, and they've always done it. They go, this week was a little bad, or a couple of those middle sketches were kind of weak. Like, you try to do this every week, and tell me if it isn't impossible.
Live. It's impossible.
Have you ever done sketch stuff?
I dibble dabble, but it's not really. I'm not a team player. I realize that it's me. I used to be miserable in those situations and blame everybody else. But I was like, no, it's me. I'm not. I have to be in control, or the person in control has to be somebody whose ideas I respect supremely. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I just feel like it's like I'm right because I have the best ideas, and I feel like I'm just arguing with people that don't have good ideas. And that's not fair to anyone.
So if you hook up with somebody who's really good, and you really respect them, then it's a much easier proposition.
You both have similar ideas. I remember from your special, you had this really great bit about having your dick size rating on your driver's license.
Oh, right.
And Adam has a few thoughts on dick size ratings being displayed as well.
I'm glad you brought that up, Chris, because I want to see what Brian thinks about this. I had what I thought was a brilliant idea, which is to find out who's had the biggest dick in America. And every year we would test.
It's probably who you least expect.
That's part of the fun. Now the test, because you can't just go length. We can't just throw a tape on it.
No.
And we can't just go girth. We have to go water displacement because that's the ultimate volume. Well, how else can we tell who the ultimate volume
Just straight
is?
math.
It's a straight math. No, if I took this, highlighter pen and I just dipped it into a graduated cylinder, just blue water, marked off, and we just see what the displacement is. And obviously, if I took duct tape and wrapped it around it 50 times and then lowered it again, it would be more displacement. So this will stop the quibbling and the arguing and the tape measuring, and it'll just be pure displacement.
Now, are you giving separate awards for soft and hard?
Awards.
No, and it's not an award, although one could argue it's the ultimate.
Well, you should definitely. That person should definitely get a vote in Congress, like separate from all the other senators.
Well, here's how we're going to do it initially, and don't worry, it'll evolve.
Okay.
First, it's water displacement. So every dude has to lay down on the same sheet of stainless steel and get their chub going through the hole. Lower down into the graduated cylinder. Stops all computerized and mechanized. Okay. And we know right where it is. We know how much is displaced. Then you would get a ranking. It wouldn't just be number one. We'd go all the way through. Every male in America. Every male in America is going to get a windbreaker, It's going to have your ranking, not your size, how you rank.
Wow, I
the
like that.
one guy who got number one, that guy's Evel Knievel. That guy's going to be able to wear that jumpsuit with the number one on the back, and he's got it for the whole year.
Okay.
Okay, now, every year, a whole bunch more 17-year-olds turned 18, and we got to do it again. We got to see if he keeps his crown.
Okay.
See, and then we pick a month out of the year. Let's just say, let's make it a cooler month, like October. Everybody has to wear their windbreaker with their ranking on it that weekend.
It'll be-
Federal mandate.
It'll be Dick Day.
It'll be Dick Day,
Okay.
right. But remember,
Happy Dick Day.
there's probably, 100 million dudes of age in this country, maybe 115 or 20,
sounds about right, yeah.
million. Your number could be, 87 millionth. I mean, it's going
Right.
to, it's all the way down. And the guy's going to get the most attention is number one, but the guys get the second most is the last.
Yeah, that's-
Whoever came in, 100 million, 22, at
Yeah.
last.
Like I feel like the top 100 guys,
Top 100 guys.
and then the bottom 10 guys, and then everyone else.
The
doesn't.
top 10 guys are going to be celebrities.
Yeah, for
They're
sure.
going to be walking around. They're probably going to be doing the circuit. They're going to go.
Yeah.
They're going to end up on, Stern and Rogan and stuff. If
They'll
you're
go on
number,
tour.
you're number
Yeah.
one, you're right. You're getting book deals. You're going. You're
In
touring.
fact, I think you should adjust it a bit. And it's like everyone outside of that top 100 and bottom 10, they just in a zone. They just get a colored jacket because your number doesn't even matter. Like no one cares if you're 90,000 or 95,000, right? And so just give you you're in the red zone, you're in the green zone. But the top 100 get a special thing, and the bottom 10 get a special thing.
Yeah. But you're right. Let's save time. And it's a lot of rainbow tape to put all those numbers on the back of everyone's windbreaker. So you'll just get, a color chart, like the terrorist color chart or something like that, And then you'll walk around and, anyone in the top 10 is an instant celebrity, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then we have the big unveiling every year. We do it, I don't know, January 2nd or something. And remember, 10 million 17-year-old males turned 18 over the course of the year. They got to be tested. And we'll see if we knock this guy off. We'll see if he holds the windbreaker.
Well, see, that's going to lead to some constitutional crisis because there's going to be some 17-year-old that is like, I got a bigger dick than him, and you're discriminating against me just because of my age.
Oh,
We gotta
I should
wait.
be the
Class
champ.
actions.
No, rules are rules, just like, signing up for the military
Right.
or buying liquor or a driver's license. We'll have a set age for everything. There's a set age for cock measuring. That's 18. And it's not going to be like, well, in Hawaii, it's 15 and a half. No. I make the rules.
But we'll know who he is like 2-3 years before, like a prospect.
Yeah.
coming into the
To be
league. Oh,
like,
okay.
yeah.
Like, like the AAU.
Well, like LeBron James when he was in the 9th grade.
Right.
We're keeping an eye on this guy. He's got a huge cock. And by the way, his dad had a huge cock, and he's barely hit puberty.
Right,
So
like-
he's probably got another couple inches left in him.
Like, can he live up to his father's legacy? His father's the logo.
Speaking of legacy, his dad had a cock as big as a leg. So.
Right.
Yeah, his dad is the guy we use on the logo.
Right, but then he'll end up being like super queer, like Magic Johnson's son,
Oh.
That'll really fuck people up.
Yeah, and he's probably going to have some agent managers going, look, don't come out of the closet yet. I got so much endorsement money on this fucking table. I got Nike. I got Reebok.
All right, we got Alpha Brain.
We got Alpha
We got the
Brain.
UFC lined up.
We got Trojan. These guys are knocking down my door over here. Don't come out for a couple of years. Let's really cash in. Yeah, endorsement deals. Everyone would know who he was, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Even if they pretended like they didn't.
Right. Yeah, even if, like they do with Ron Jeremy.
Right.
Yeah, okay, come on.
Look, I'm not watching Dick Day. That's stupid.
Oh,
Yeah,
it'd be bigger than the Super Bowl and the Kentucky Derby and everything put together. Netflix would do it live.
Well, they do it at the Super Bowl.
They'd do it at the halftime.
Yeah.
Sorry, J-Lo. We got some real entertainment coming in. It fell on Dick Day this
It's
year.
a real man. And now he can't get drafted. He's a national treasure.
Oh, yeah. We need to be protected.
You got to protect him. Man, I think it would turn into a competition with other countries.
Oh, well,
absolutely.
then there's International Dick Day.
And then the Russians will be cheating.
The Dick Olympics.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to, and there'll be some weird rogue nation, and we'll get it'll be like Rocky 3 or 4 or whatever the one where he took
They'll
on
be like
Drago.
extracting genes out of Rasputin's dick. It's in that jar.
I wouldn't put it beyond the Ruskies.
No.
That's for sure. But you would get that windbreaker. They would say number 1.
Oh, yeah, well, I wouldn't get it.
No, I mean one would get the
right, yeah, one would get it, yeah.
the windbreaker. And then the question is like if you had a medium to small dick, would you be making excuses? Like, come on, it's National Dick Day. We got to go. Oh, man, I rolled my ankle.
Because I think we would find out real quick that most people don't have a giant penis. And here's the truth. Most women don't want one. We talk shit, but most it's just like the same way guys be like, oh, just some giant titties. But it's like this titties hit a certain size. Be like, now that feels like work. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like same. I don't think most women, they talk that shit, but they don't really want what they be saying.
Yeah, I think when Oprah interviewed the number 1 guy, that'd be part of the conversation. Him explaining he's lonely.
Exactly.
And that he gets all the adulation and people cheer, but he really goes home alone.
Yeah, he's like, every woman he fucks, he can only put it a quarter ways in.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
He doesn't want that. That's a lonely guy. He going to fuck animals or something.
Yeah, he probably won't say that in the Oprah interview, but it's understood.
But how does society benefit from knowing?
I don't know, but I know we would
haven't gone
like
that
it. I really haven't gotten to the implications from the societal standpoint, but I'm telling you, there's no bar in America that guy couldn't walk into with his number 1 emblazoned on the back of his windbreaker and not get a fucking free drink.
Oh, yeah. Free, among other things.
That guy's number 1. And sadly, it could take a turn depending on the guy's nationality. You know what I mean? Like if he wasn't a black guy, but it turned out to be an Irish guy, and then the next guy who was coming up, the young LeBron, was a man of color. You know, and there's a pride.
I think it would blow everyone's mind. I think it would be like completely out of like it would be like a trans midget. You know,
like a ginger,
somebody you wouldn't even,
trans midget.
Yeah, just a midget with dick down to the ankles.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's why you got to do it, because everyone would be blown away. And we might get lucky. It may be a celebrity. You know what I mean? Like Hugh Jackman made the top 10?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You know, like if it was somebody we recognized.
Or it would be like a billion. It would be like completely unfair. It would be like a trillion. It would be like Jeff Bezos. Everybody's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that gets everything, that guy.
Right.
And then we want to know if there's some payola, like maybe he greased some palms to the guy who used his own graduated cylinder.
Oh, yeah. He definitely got some kind of implant if it's available. Or he got some stem cell, got a dick transplant.
I went to a guy once who did the dick enlargement stuff. And he gave me the whole...
Yeah, I've actually heard that a lot more people than I think have gotten it.
Oh.
Well, yeah, they don't brag about it. Yeah. I went there for a man show bit.
Okay, you should say that.
I'm saying it now. Yeah, the guy explained that they took, there's, I don't know, a couple of tendons or something, and they clip them at the base, and they really just pull your dick out a little further. Like it'd be like if somebody said, well, I want my mailbox to be 4 inches taller. And you went, all right, we'll pull the post out a little bit more. And then they go, well, I want it to be 6 inches taller. And they go, no, it'll fall over if you pull it out too much. But you can pull it out a little bit. And then they graft on cells from cadavers.
So there still has to be the material that has to be there.
You mean you have to own a cock?
No, but I mean you have to have the amount of cock in you for them to pull out.
Yeah.
Right?
I think everyone has a certain amount, a certain ratio in them.
Right.
And they'll take some out, and then they graft on the cadaver cells. That's for the width.
You think anyone's ever needed a dick reduction? You know, like they got to make your titty smaller because your back hurt? You think anyone's ever had to have a dick reduction?
Your quads hurt?
To like fix their hips or something? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it'd be kind of a nice thing to have on your resume.
Right. They would be like, hey, dude, what's wrong with you? Had to get the dick reduced.
Yeah, that's right. Right. It'd be nice. It's kind of up there with like what'd you do? Why were you in jail? I killed a man with my hand. You know what I mean?
Right,
It's like
right.
it's a humble brag.
We should lead that. We got to destigmatize dick reduction.
The dick reduction, I don't know. I mean, Byron, you can tell me if it exists, but I don't know. I mean, we did you're showing the Man Show bit or something? Yeah, we went, the thing about the bit is me and Jimmy went to this guy's office and he was explaining to us how it worked. And one of the things is it's cadaver cells that they put on your dick. And then I said, well, where do you get these? And he goes, well, when you go to the DMV and you donate your organs, this is where we get it. And I'm like, that's not part of the pitch.
Right.
They're talking about some blind kid who needs to see again, not some
I thought it was my
Middle Eastern
internal
guy who needs to get his dick widened. Yeah, but it's your cells.
Do they color match?
Oh, it's a good question. You know what? I wish you were there when we did the bit. Would have been a very pertinent question. All right, let's see. I'll run 30 seconds of this bit from 25 years ago.
This is Jim Rushing. Jim is a man who puts weight on his penis.
To make it longer, right? Not just for fun?
To make it longer, correct.
Does it make your penis stronger as well?
Yes,
It does?
it does.
So it could fight and defeat other penises. So tell us about some of these
there's
devices.
the weighted
What
penis.
is this gigantic weight here? This couldn't possibly go on I can barely lift this thing. What does this weigh?
That's 10 pounds.
All right, what about this thing, which I'm really, really, really not going to touch?
This attaches to a pulley at the end of the
To
bed.
a Ford F-150.
And you would lie there. You stretch while you're sleeping.
And what's going on with the hair?
Wow. It's like a little bit of a vagina.
It's kind of a modified mohawk.
That's what your goal should be. Your goal should be able to get your penis up far enough to hump your scalp, which is turning into a vagina.
Guys think that women really want a big penis.
Right.
And it's not really the women that usually want a big penis. It's guys want to have a big penis.
Yes.
It's a personal thing. It's a guy who wants to stand up in front of the mirror in the morning and say, yeah, I'm the man. I got a big one.
Yeah, I'm the man. I got a big one.
I forgot about this.
Lexington, you're an adult film star known to have a huge penis.
That's right.
And what is this stuff? These are drops?
Okay, well, the Liquid RX product
Yeah.
is actually like a liquid vitamin supplement.
How big is your penis?
It's 11 inches, but
It's 11 inches.
yeah.
He's not 11. He's definitely 12 or 13.
Really? Is there anything you can do that you've
downed all
seen
the
works
pills.
to make the penis larger? There's the pills, there's the creams, all that stuff. What works?
Surgery. Yeah, surgery.
Surgery?
Well, there's two procedures that we
that's
do.
right.
One is for lengthening of the penis, and the other is for widening or thickening of the penis.
We're going to need both. Yeah. So how does it go?
Basically, the penis is in green. And you may or may not know, but the part of the penis that you see...
Hold on one second. Is your penis green?
No, we just did it in green for
Okay.
illustrative purposes. Half the penis is outside the body, so basically it's from here out to here.
Really?
And the other half of the penis is inside the body.
So technically, when we give the measurement of our penis, we can measure the part that's outside of the pants
Just
and then
double
double
it.
that.
That's right.
All right, I'm at 6 inches.
So the way we lengthen the penis, and this was actually pioneered in China in the late...
What a surprise.
Shocking.
What we do is we make a small incision above the penis, and then we detach the ligament along the pubic bone down to the base of the pubic bone. And these are sheets of human skin.
Holy crap.
And the sheets of human skin come from tissue donors, and the company removes all the cells.
Really?
Yeah, so there's no living
I'm
cells.
taking that sticker off my driver's license right now.
Yeah, I thought it was to give like retarded kids corneas. I didn't know it was a large some Beverly Hills guy's penis.
Yeah. So can we do something in the operating room?
Sure.
Oh,
Man,
Jesus
I missed
How
this
does
show.
this go?
Okay, well, the first thing we do is we make a small incision above the penis.
Can I do that? Can I make the incision?
Sure, go ahead.
Really?
All right.
Carolla?
We can't
There's
watch.
Carolla.
We can't
Thank you
watch
very
the
much.
whole bit. But I forgot about this bit.
The weights look like oversized fishing
We've explored many different options for it.
Oh, that was a lot of great bits on that show, man.
Yeah. Everyone is funny because everyone thought, oh, you guys just jumping, girls on trampolines, you guys chugging beer. And it's like, oh no, we did bits.
Yeah, no, it was funny.
We did funny bits, and without sounding like a douche, if we didn't do funny bits, no one would have watched it, and or remembered it. If it was always what it was described as by people who didn't like us, like these guys just up there belching, drinking beer, making fun of women. Like that's not a funny bit. You can't do 100 episodes of us just belching and drinking beer.
Yeah, all that stuff was just the fun part. It was funny, and then it was fun. The titties, the trampolines, the chugging the beer, that was fun. It was like stuff we could do at home, and then the skits were the things the memorable shit.
Yeah, I haven't even seen that bit in like 20-something years. And I forgot about the whole part at the beginning where we talked to the dick stretcher guys, because the weights, they will do the weights.
10 pounds is crazy.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Right. The dick stretching doesn't really sound like it'll help the displacement measurement, though. Water displacement measurement, if you're just
that's why we're doing the displacement, to try to head the dick stretchers off at the pass. And that's been said many times.
Of
Right?
course.
A lot of guys could think their bright idea of stretching their dick out with 10-pound weights. Nuh-uh. The beaker doesn't lie. Same volume.
People would do. I think people would start doing wild shit. Like they would, people that got obsessed with it. They would eventually start putting bees, getting in a dick stung so it could swell up.
Swell up.
Swell up. Type of, or fire ants or something like that.
Fire ants. Yeah. I mean, that's a committed guy who's going to unleash fire ants on his hog, before measurement day. But I wouldn't put it past many Americans.
Yeah. So we would probably have to do a visual as well.
Oh yeah, no, it's all going to be filmed.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no doubt it's going to be. Well, that's going to be up on the jumbotron at Dallas Stadium. When we do it, and then for the unveiling.
Is this your king? Yeah, it will be.
Yeah, You're right. The guys should get the scepter and the crown, and have the cape put around him with the fur around the neck.
Maybe I think that's a much better way to pick the royal family. It shouldn't be genetic. It should just,
And you're right. That guy should get one vote in Congress.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And no taxes for him.
No taxes for the year.
Yeah.
Again, endorsement deals up the wazoo. I don't think that guy'd ever get pulled over and get a ticket ever again.
Yeah, and we'd have to make his title in Latin, because we can't just say dick on official documents.
Oh,
So it'll have to be like Dictus Moranus or Humongous or something like that.
Yeah, it could be like Phallus Humongous. Something like that. Your phone's going off, but phallus humongous or some Latin, something you'd put on a coin.
Exactly.
Well, that guy's going to get challenge coins.
It was like
challenge coins from the military.
Oh, yeah. He would have the top challenge coin for sure. That's above the president.
Pluribus phallus humongous.
So if y'all don't know what challenge coins are, it's like in the military. Every now and then you would do something awesome and you would get a coin.
Yeah.
A big, nice little coin, yeah. And depending on the rank or the prestige of the person that gave you the coin, it outranked other coins. So if you see another veteran in a veteran bar and you drop your challenge coin and he drops his and yours is higher than his, then he has to buy you a drink.
Oh, really?
Oh, I didn't know that there's...
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
So that's what the challenge is. So it's like if you got a coin from the president of the United States, you pretty much trumping everybody. But it's very rare to get one. And previous presidents outrank newer presidents.
Oh.
Okay, so that makes sense.
But it goes all the way down from your command. Like you can get one from the base general, you can get one from
we get them as
the Secretary of Defense.
Right?
Yeah, well, there's challenge coins, and then there's people that just have coins that represent their outfit. And that could be firefighters, that could be Marine Corps, the airborne infantry, or whatever. They'll give you when I go around the country.
But you have to give our guy like a bigger, thicker coin.
Yeah, girthier.
Yeah,
coin. Yeah. And and it says it says phallus humongous e pluribus wrecked her.
Whose face is on the...
Oh, that's a good... Well, look, I brought up Ron Jeremy I like the guy. You know what I mean? It's he's withering in prison right now. He has dementia.
Well, it could just be
the great John Holmes are good.
Like cross dicks.
Cross dicks. Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
Right.
Doesn't have to be the face, or we could kind of make up a face. Like Bartles and James didn't exist. They just made them up to sell wine coolers.
What would be the female equivalent of this? Just who has the most cavernous pussy?
Maybe it's an areola thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know, nipple length. It'd be like the WNBA. It just wouldn't catch on. You know what I mean? They'd try. We'd have to subsidize them.
Yeah, like, hey, lower the rim.
That's
no,
right.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
So a challenge coin, I like that. And this guy just goes out and slaps it on every bar in every America, in any place in America, and wins that drink.
I think you nailed it bringing up this topic. This is right up my alley.
Yeah,
I think we bonded.
You have innovative, resourceful thoughts that many comedians don't.
Oh yeah, it's my
So
superpower.
but you're doing what you were taught in the Marines. You're breaking this down. You're troubleshooting. You're following it. And you're finding out, and you said that's applicable to anything.
Yeah,
you could just take that to anywhere. You're taking it to dick size now.
You know, the other thing that I'll never forget from there is always talk to the dumbest person in the room and the smartest person in the room.
Well, you got them both right here today.
No, right, but it's like because I feel like a lot like my comedy is like I'm conveying my thoughts, like I'm because it's hard to turn an idea into words.
Right.
You know, and it's like, and sometimes you got to re-explain. So it's like you get to the point where the dumbest person understands, then you can be as complicated as you want to be, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was maybe one of the few things I remember when I took over for Howard Stern in several markets. I remember we were #1 in Vegas and we were #1 in Seattle. And then they said, Seattle's the smartest city in the country, and Vegas is the dumbest city in the country. And I said, well, then we're covered.
That's right up my alley.
If I got them both, then I will take that. Yeah.
That's why I say my demographic is kind of hard to pin down, but I've figured out what it was recently. I feel like the people that come see me is everyone that has done mushrooms at least once.
Yeah, that's a growing population.
That's what my people are. So I got to advertise it like psilocybin dispensaries and shit.
Targeted ads.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a break. We got some news.
Yeah.
Brian's going to hang out with us, and we'll crack through some news right after this. Homes.com knows that when it comes to home shopping, it's never just about the house or condo. It's about the home. And what makes a home is more than just a house or property. It's the location. It's the neighborhood. If you have kids, it's also schools, nearby parks, transportation options, all the above. That's why Homes.com goes above and beyond to bring home shoppers the in-depth information they need to find the right home. And when I say in-depth, I'm talking about deep. That's right. Each listing features comprehensive information about the neighborhood, complete with a video guide. They also have details about local schools with test scores, state rankings, and student-to-teacher ratio. They even have an agent directory with the sales history of each agent. So when it comes to finding a home, not just a house, this is everything you need to know, all in one place. Homes.com. Homes.com. We've done your homework. Just thrive. Life can be overwhelming, and it's not just your mind that suffers. Stress messes with your digestive system and your immune system, too. Just Calm, the breakthrough new stress-busting formula from Just Thrive, exclusive mood-lifting blend, is clinically proven to help you relax and breathe easier in as little as 4 weeks. And I love the award-winning Just Thrive probiotic. I take it every day, and it makes a difference. I love the couple that started this company. They're passionate about their product. I've spoken to them about it. This is a labor of love for them. Just Thrive's a spore-based probiotic with 1,000 times better survivability than most probiotics, banishes bloat and constipation in your gut so you can produce serotonin. That's your happy hormone. Plus, it supports better sleep. I take it. You should take it too. Just Thrive. All, by the way, with a money-back guarantee. Right, Dawson?
Right now, when you go to JustThriveHealth.com and use promo code Adam, you can get 20% off a 90-day bottle of Just Thrive Probiotic and Just Calm. That's like getting a month for free. And a portion of every purchase goes to Vitamin Angels, a nonprofit organization that saves the lives of millions of children and moms-to-be around the world by ensuring they get the vitamins and minerals they need to stay healthy and strong. To learn more about this groundbreaking company, don't miss Adam's interview with Tina Anderson, founder of Just Thrive. Take control today with Just Thrive. May 12th, Birchum's back. You're welcome, ladies. Here's a sneak preview of the new animated show from Adam Carolla and the Daily Wire.
You better watch yourself. This is the first disciplinary tribunal since that bio teacher pistol whipped the kid with a dead frog. And that kid had it coming.
Carponzi wants me fired because he thinks I'm too tough on my kids. But where's it end? Last semester, I got written up for saying this kid threw like a girl. But then, 2 months later, that same kid started identifying as a girl. And nobody apologized to me. Crickets. I was early money.
Subscribe now at dailywire.com and tell a friend before the premiere of Mr. Birchum on May 12th. Now back to the Adam Carolla Show.
Brian Simpson in studio for Cock Crosstalk.
Yes.
Just do another 40 minutes on Cox, and then we'll get on with the news. Stand-up special, Brian Simpson, live from the Mothership. It's on Netflix. It's very good, and I recommend it highly. I've seen it, and I laughed, and it wasn't in preparation for you coming. I just enjoyed it.
Thank you.
For what it was.
Also, check out my podcast, BS with Brian Simpson, on all platforms.
And Instagram and Twitter at BS Comedian.
Correct.
All right, Chris, news?
Yeah, so in Sacramento, this grandfather, he is arrested. He's 54 years old, and he was arrested because on suspicion of child endangerment after he reportedly gave $20 to an unknown homeless woman to take his 7-year-old granddaughter to a thrift store on Monday so he can go to the bar and have some drinks.
Mm-hmm.
And so he remained in custody. The bail amount was $75,000. So he says that they say deputies were called to the bar's parking lot, and a passerby called 911 to report the grandfather was asking people for help because the 7-year-old granddaughter had been kidnapped for human trafficking, so he couldn't find her.
Uh-huh.
And so he just wanted to
well,
have
the
some
real
drinks.
okay, but the real criminal in this case is the mom of the kid, not the grandparent of the kid. Where the hell's the mom?
And why is
you got an alcoholic grandpa, dad, probably made some bad decisions along the way. But where's mama? And they should just let kids in bars.
Wait a minute, but hold on. The homeless lady didn't keep up her end of the bargain. What happened to her?
Right.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's. I mean, he's guilty of something, but abandonment is not accurate.
They had an agreement. They had an oral contract.
He
Here's $20.
He left her with a responsible party.
Right. There was an agreement. Were you ever offered? I know you were homeless for what? How long?
A couple years.
You're a couple of years?
Yeah. I lived in a homeless shelter when I first moved to LA. I lived in a homeless shelter for a couple of years.
How was that?
It was terrible.
Dumb question.
But I needed it though. I'll never forget the experience.
Well, why did it take so long to get out of the homeless shelter?
Because I was fighting my case with the VA, and I was also only doing stand up for money. Mm-hmm. I didn't have to pay rent there, so it didn't make sense to rush and get a place until I had to.
What are the rules of the homeless shelter?
A lot of it is you have to. So we had these sheets that everyone got every week. And you had to get certain stuff checked off, like your chores, and then you had to go to these little group therapy sessions, and you had to go to X amount depending on what level you were. Mm-hmm. And you had to give them access to your bank account, not so they could take things, but every week you had to give them a bank statement to show that you were saving money.
And where was this?
This was over here on it was on Sunset Boulevard.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was probably a 20-minute bus ride from the store.
Just down Sunset.
Yeah. And so the store was the only place I could really go. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, it was cool. At first, my case manager was against it all, but when she saw that I was funny and like actually doing it,
stand up.
Yeah, because they wouldn't count it as a job because you also had to get a job,
right?
And they wouldn't count it as a job even though I was going out every night to do it, and I was breaking curfew to do it. But I finally convinced her, and she just had my back for the rest of the time.
Nice.
How was the food?
It was terrible.
Yeah.
What was it?
I suspect because that place it went out of business because it is a business. That's the other thing. The whole homeless thing is a racket.
All right.
Yeah, these are nonprofits, but they they make a lot of money because nonprofit just means the money goes into the business. It doesn't mean they don't make money.
Right.
And so we in this homeless shelter, we're eating food that's like dog food, and then the director pulls up in a Bentley.
Right.
And you're like, how the fuck are you? So the food was awful.
What is like the day in the life for most of the people?
Man, I honestly don't really know because I didn't give a fuck. Some of those people were like, they were too focused on like being the king of the shelter, and there were a handful of us that was like on the ground, like locked the fuck in. Some people were like, going to college, music producers, whatever. But there were some people that were just like interested in ruling the roost, and I don't give a shit with none of y'all. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
yeah.
But 2 years.
Yeah, for almost 2 years. Yeah,
that is a long time.
Yeah, it was a really long time. But man, it was. I definitely needed it. But I will say this: it's not like I was somebody that recognized that homelessness was coming and kind of headed it off at the pass, and it was hard for me. I can imagine because they want you to fax things and have an email address, and
was it all male?
Oh yeah. I ain't seen no homeless women. I mean, not that they don't exist, but.
I mean, would they have allowed women to be in there?
Yeah, I think they had a couple women's shelters. Yeah,
but with the men. I mean, it seems weird to have commingling.
Absolutely not. There were no women allowed. Some people. I know a dude. He snuck a girl in a suitcase.
Oh, really?
See, that was the mind blowing part. It was dudes in there that still had girlfriends.
Wow.
Straight up, it's like, and I don't know where that kind of confidence comes from.
Yeah,
but I felt like I wasn't even worthy to talk to women when I was living in the.
Were they wearing a windbreaker with the number 1 on it?
Number 1,
single-digit number.
Some dudes just got it. Some girls have that. I can fix him. Like they're addicted. I call it broken bird syndrome. They're addicted to like dudes that need help because they know you need them. Like people that are what's the word, codependent?
Yeah,
they know you need them for sure because you don't have shit. So those are the kind of dudes they go after.
Yeah, there's a population of women beautiful women. I've seen this. I've experienced it. But there's a small population of beautiful women who are just with ugly dudes just because they know they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Like they're in control of the relationship. And then there's women that marry guys in prison because they know where they're not going anywhere.
Or especially like serial killers.
Yeah.
Yeah. It blows my mind. Serial killers always have groupies.
Not groupies, and they have wives and kids from inside. Oh,
wow.
Trial. Yeah. Tex Watson from the Manson family has 4 kids from inside prison.
That's wild.
It is wild. So, homeless. Now, do you get your own room? Do you have a roommate? How does it work?
Well, yeah, that was the thing about this particular shelter was only for Afghanistan and Iraq veterans. So they did that because they're like, well, all y'all have the same kind of problem, so you can all share the same kind of treatment. It was that kind of thing. But yes, eventually you would get your own room when you got up to a certain level.
And you did.
And I did, yeah. If you make it there, I think it's 6 months. The first 6 months you have a roommate, and as long as you don't fuck up before then, you'll get your own room.
And you're going out, curfew's 10 o'clock at night or something, and you're going out.
I'm coming back 1 a.m.
And is there like a no booze policy, no drugs policy?
Oh yeah. I've been breathalyzer right when I walk in the door.
From doing a set.
Yep, piss test right away. Because because the guy that in charge of the whole thing was like, I don't trust you doing stand-up comedy. That's bullshit. So my director had my back, so it was like, but I had to do all the extra tests. Piss test. Every time they did a random piss test, I did every single one.
Oh, really?
Every time I walked, and one time I got dropped off because I didn't tell most of my friends where I was. So I get dropped off at the corner and walk. And I got dropped off, and my boy was like, hey, can you throw this away for me? And handed me a beer, but I grabbed it wrong and it spilled on my arm. And I walked in the I walked in and I was clearly not drunk, but he could smell the beer. And I explained what happened. But you know how we need a word for when the truth sounds like a lie. You know what I mean? Because it was like, I'm telling the truth, but as it's coming out of my mouth, it sounds like complete bullshit. If you think I'm an alcoholic.
Right.
And you're like, okay, so you're telling me someone spilled a beer on you right before you walked in. That sounds like bullshit.
Yeah.
Right.
But I wavered all that shit, you know. And then right before I left, I found out, you know, there was somebody there you could have just bribed to pass the test.
Oh, that's
but I was following the rules the whole time.
Were you able to save up money?
Oh yeah. Well, I won my challenge against the VA, so I ended up getting like $10,000 or something.
And then you were able to move out.
I was able to move out. Yeah.
Huh. That's a kind of success story.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. And then right after that, you know, things kind of started picking up. I gotten passed at the store.
Yeah.
And then I gotten on Lights Out, David Spade. And then that's when everyone kind of in the industry kind of noticed me. And then it just fucking took off from there. And then I got on this Netflix show.
Stand-ups, right?
No. Before that, it got canceled right when the pandemic started.
Oh.
We were filming the second week and it got canceled. And then right after the pandemic, I got a half hour because of that.
On Netflix?
Yep.
Oh, that's great.
What is the last day at the homeless shelter like? Is everyone happy? Are they clapping as you're walking out with all your stuff?
Like Officer and a Gentleman.
Yeah.
Oh, nah, because I didn't even make a big deal about it. I left at night when everybody was asleep. Like, fuck this place. I just got out of there.
Nice.
Like, literally, the moment I signed the lease, I was like, I'm gone.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, what else we got, Chris?
All right, so there's a Chinese zoo, the Taizu Zoo, and so they opened their newest attraction last week, and it features pandas. Everybody went to go check out the pandas. You know, China loves their pandas. So they go and they see these pandas, and it turns out they're actually Chow Chow dogs that were dyed black and white to pass off as pandas. So people were very upset.
Yeah.
The zoo defended its decision of placing the dogs in the panda enclosure. This was their excuse. There are no panda bears at the zoo, and we wanted to do this.
Yeah,
So,
that's everyone's excuse for everything, like counterfeit money. I didn't have money, so I printed my own money. You know what I mean? This is all the people that, you know, put the BMW tag on their Toyota. You know what I mean? I couldn't afford a BMW. What do you want me to do? Yeah, that's how it works.
I'm guessing the consumer protection laws aren't very strong in China.
I'm guessing so too. But they said
listen,
natural
the
dye.
people
Their
that
dogs are
bought a
fine.
ticket didn't get nothing. They got to see chows dyed as pandas, which is not a 0.
That's not nothing.
It's like a 3 out of you know, if a panda's a 10. And by the way, pandas just sit on their ass and eat bamboo.
Right.
They don't do anything.
It's not worth it.
There's no panda show. It's just looking at a panda. So if you can see something that looks, if you squint, like a miniature panda, then, you know, I don't think you're entitled to a refund.
Yeah, and I think these people qualify as like just idiot marks. You know they don't have enough pandas. Pandas don't fuck each other.
No.
So you think all of a sudden they just came up with 6 new pandas?
No, they're the only animal that doesn't want to fuck.
It's insane.
It's insane.
Yeah. So
I could do 20 minutes on pandas.
There's only 4 pandas left in the world or something crazy. How many pandas left?
There's not that many.
Not that many.
We get a couple. Do you know the panda rules?
No.
We can't give them our own names. They get assigned names from China.
Word.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not even worth it.
And it costs us like $1 million a year to lease them from China.
Because I would rather see every other kind of bear before I saw a panda.
Yeah.
They don't interest me at all. They're
That's
not
what
cool.
T.J. Miller told me that last year. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Because they lack everything that's cool about bears.
Let's do the bear rankings.
Okay, for sure.
All right.
American grizzly.
All right. I might start with polar.
I'm going to start polar too.
Wow,
yeah.
okay, polar at the top.
I like polars because they swim in ice water like it's nothing.
Oh, okay, so I thought you were talking about winning in a fight.
Oh, no,
Okay,
sorry, not
okay.
a fight. We'll just do a ranking of bears we'd like to hang out with.
Okay, yeah, okay, polar for
Well,
sure.
I heard polar bears are actually the most dangerous bears.
They are. I don't mean hang out, you know, socially. I just mean like see.
To see.
Spend time with. Okay.
Yeah, they were the Coca-Cola bears.
Yeah, I like a
Yeah.
polar. I like a polar bear. Then I think you're at grizzly, Kodiak,
Right.
you know, second, right? Just because of their size.
Yeah. Then I go koala.
Koala.
Then I go hairy gay man.
Yeah, bear.
And then panda.
And then panda. So you got panda that far down.
Yeah, they're at the bottom of my bear list for sure.
I got polar, Kodiak / grizzly, black bear. Sorry, no offense, but it's just ubiquitous. Don't need them. They're running around everywhere. I don't need that. I think I got panda third, hairy-backed male fourth, and then koala. Oh no, yeah.
Oh, you take a panda over a koala?
I would take a panda over a koala.
Why?
Well, they're both worthless. They sit around and they eat. That's all they do. Is they sit and they eat.
Right.
But a panda is a bigger size koala. It's got the same cute ears, the same kind of snout. They're both cute. One is just a larger version of the other.
Are we leaving out some kind of bear? There's water bears.
Trying to think if there's a bear that we're missing out. We got black bears and brown bears.
Panda. I mean, those are like the main ones, I think.
Yeah, I like I like that the polar bears swim in the frozen ocean and then hunt too, like hunt stuff from the ocean.
They can swim for days.
They can swim for days. Yeah. So weird. They don't get cold. I like that their cubs sort of follow them along as they're going through the frozen tundra there.
And they're like relentless hunters.
Yeah.
Because I think that's why they're the most dangerous. Because if they decide that they're going to eat you, like they won't stop.
They will eat you.
They will follow you until you drop, and they will eat you.
They'll find a way.
The number one thing that all bears do that we have to figure out with our rankings is. The coolest thing a bear does is stand up on its hind legs and like swat its arms around.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Pandas don't do it, and koalas don't do it.
Never seen a panda standing.
Never see a standing panda or a standing koala.
Yeah.
So that's some minus pointage there.
But I think that koalas have to eat all day.
Yeah.
I think because there's so little nutrients in the bamboo. Mm-hmm. That if they don't, like, they have to eat so much of it just to get enough to live.
I think...
No?
No. Well, no, I don't know for sure. I think the pandas eat the bamboo.
Okay.
And the koalas eat, like, eucalyptus leaves or something.
You're right. You're absolutely
I think they eat something else. Yeah. Either way, do they eat eucalyptus leaves?
That sounds right.
And has anyone ever smelled one of those things? It's not the panda, but the
Isn't
leaf.
Eucalyptus like what Vicks is?
Oh, yeah.
No, but it's close. That's menthol or whatever. But yeah, it's horrible. But someone should give them some food.
What eats them?
Pandas?
Because I've also never seen a panda or a koala get ripped apart.
No.
I've seen every other bear get fucked up. Never seen a panda get.
Yeah, they seem. Well, we only see them in a protected environment, but I don't know who hunts or what other animals go after.
So there's no wild pandas.
I don't think there is anymore. Dingoes, pythons, and crocodiles must, in big birds, eat the koalas. Yeah. I guess I don't know who's eating. The pandas.
The most dangerous thing for any species is for Asian people to think you have magical properties.
If an Asian
they're gonna wipe you the fuck out.
It makes his dick bigger. You're fucked. That's the worst. Like if you were an asshole species. And you wanted to fuck up another species, you just get the word out. You eat that guy's horn, hop sing. It'll make your cock bigger. Really?
Did you know it was good luck to?
Yeah. Either good luck or dick makes your dick bigger. Yeah. You will be hunted into extinction almost immediately.
I told my homie the other day, I was like, you know what? If Hamas had any sense, they would just airdrop pollen all over Israel.
Yeah, because the Jews are always...
Every Jew I know has allergies.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Give him the allergy treatment.
That IDF will be sneezing, missing shots.
Well, can I say this just to protect, just to be fair-minded? There is two Jews. There is our domesticated North American, docile, covered with allergies and not eager for the fray, does not want to throw down, but will represent you in court Jew. Right. And then there's crazy, big, four-armed, Krav Maga Israeli Jew.
Right, that's a different...
The Israeli Jew has the mustache, he has the jaw, he's angry, he's got the big hairy forearms. Those Jews are not our Jews. We've domesticated our Jews here.
I see.
It's like there's bees There's honeybees, and then there's Africanized killer bees.
And
they're both bees.
Yeah.
We domesticated ours here, put them to work on the hive.
But don't the American Jews all have a chance to like go over there?
They do, but they don't get weaponized. Like the Israeli Jews are crazy fight. Like if you meet like an Israeli Jew, like Avi, that guy fucking got a sense. That guy's got, he's violent, he's aggressive, like he's angry. That is a different Jew than Nate Wittenberg, who I went to North Hollywood High with. Different Jew.
Just the desert survival Jew. Maybe somehow being
enemies all around you.
Like being closer to the Holy Land to get you.
Got to join the army on your 18th birthday for 2 years, Jew. It's all enemies, all the time. Right. Yeah, different Jew.
Did they learn like Krav Maga in school? Is it like
I don't
in place of physical education? Everybody just learns how to fucking.
I don't know, but they all go into the military, and then we do this thing every once in a while, and we go, oh man, look at that hot chick, and she's Israeli, and she's in the army, and it's like, well, if we forced every female to go into the army in the United States, we would have hot chicks too. Like if we just said, sorry, hot blondes from Florida, you're doing 2 years, just like the ugly chick is. Like you're all in. Because we do that, we go, oh, look at her. She Wonder Woman, whatever her name is.
Gal Gadot?
Gal Gadot. Look at her. It's like, yeah, because they all pass through from 18 to 20. I don't care if you're a model. Yeah. I don't care if you're an actress. You go through. And if we did that, then there'd be a picture of a 19-year-old Gwyneth Paltrow holding a machine gun, and we go, oh, they're so hot. But it's not that. They all pass through.
Either all the Israeli chicks are hot, or they don't let the ugly ones be shown.
They don't film them.
Yeah,
they don't make the calendar.
Because that's the whole thing. They get you to go there for birthright, and then they make sure you get to hang out with all these hot ass military people. Yeah, hoping that it'll form.
We could have a hotter military, but hot chicks in this country go, fuck that noise, I'm hot.
Right.
I don't have to go into the military. I can just suck my boss's dick.
So you see a hot chick hold a gun right, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
You're not from here.
Were there hot chicks when you were in the military? That's what I'm saying.
No, you know what? There were, but they never, not doing the hard shit. I mean, yeah, because hot chicks don't have to.
Yeah.
Like, that's the part of the privilege of being hot in America. You don't have to do the hard stuff.
At the same time, I'm fine with hot chicks not being in the military.
No, because I'll tell you what, anytime there was ever a hot chick, they immediately got pregnant or married.
Really?
It was. I mean, it was a count that within 6 months. Within 6 months they would be pregnant, and then you didn't have to really even be that hot, Because,
just military.
Yeah,
hot.
if you one of 100 chicks on a ship with 4,000 people on it, you're Beyonce. It don't matter how you look.
You get pregnant.
So, so whenever there was even a remotely hot chick, they would immediately get married or pregnant.
And Beyonce would have to go do her 2 years in the military under my rules. You know what I'm saying? We'd have pictures of Beyonce in there at 18, 19 years old, just like Elvis had to do.
You know how hard it would be for us to implement. I mean, I agree, but it would be so hard to implement that now. People, draft. They'd be protesting in the street. Like, man, there's no draft, just everyone. Everyone of age has to do 2 years minimum.
Oh, there's no way.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way.
It'd be the best thing ever for this country and for the people. They should all do it.
Because you know what it would really do, man, is it would stop, even if you had the softest life, you would have to do something hard.
Yeah.
And to kind of, it would give you just the slightest little bit to appreciate other people.
Oh, yeah. No, if I have a daughter's about to turn 18, she's good looking, and she's not going into the military. But if I told her, change of plans, you're going in the military for 2 years, she would kick and scream and go nuts. But if you got hold of her when she was 30 and said, are you now glad you did the military? Everyone would say yes. Right. They would all say, I'm glad. I got there. I got on a schedule. I got humbled. I learned something. I learned some Krav Maga. I learned how to fire a weapon. Like I learned a discipline, what a disciplined life was. And then I also learned to appreciate getting out and going to college in Santa Barbara, which was, wouldn't have appreciated nearly as much if I hadn't done that. Look, we should take everybody who's in, juvie and put them in the Peace Corps. Everybody who turns 18 should do it. Like, we should have a Job Corps, a Peace Corps, a thing. That's our whole problem. Like, everybody we're just letting sort of hang out or putting them in a cell somewhere and letting them languish. Like, if you're 16, 15, and you're in and out of juvie and you're a fuck up, you need to be up on the hill clearing brush with the firemen.
I would say the majority of the kids that age don't even know what to do. They don't even know what they want to do at that age.
When
So
I got out of high school at 18, I just wandered around. I literally just sort of walked around and like knocked on, you guys hiring? Like, nope. Went to the fire department. You guys hiring? Nope. No, I just went back to the garage I was living in and just laid on a futon. And and then what happens is you start going to bed at like 3 a.m. and waking up at noon, and then you take a couple of classes at the junior college. It's like all I did was wander around for like 2 years.
I agree. If you haven't done shit, like unless you've won a championship, or your OnlyFans is making more than $50,000 a year.
Or you got that number one.
Oh, right.
That guy's not going in.
Or you got the number one dick.
That's
we can't risk it.
We can't risk it. No. It's too dangerous. Yeah, that's part of the perks of being number one is if you're under 20, you don't have to do 2 years.
Yeah, I agree. 1,000%.
All right. It would be good. Yeah, but make no mistake, Israel, we would have a hotter army than you if we forced all our hotties to go in for 2 years like you guys do.
And if we were surrounded by all our enemies. Because we pretty much, that Manifest Destiny shit was fucked up, but it's the reason why we relatively comfortable, because we're not surrounded by anybody.
No. We got drunken Mexico and we got gay Canada.
We got a step country to the north and, Mexico to the south. Yeah, I think we're pretty good.
Do you, I hear that veterans, there's a portion of them that don't like people thanking them for their service. Like, thank you for your service when they hear you were a Marine. Does that bother you?
I mean, it bothers me, but not enough to say something.
Why does it bother you?
Because it feels like this obligatory, empty gesture. You know what I mean? Because you don't know anything about my service.
I'm with you.
It's like you don't know.
With you. That's like when someone goes, my mom died last week. I don't even go sorry.
Right.
Maybe you didn't like your mom. I didn't like my mom.
It's like, because you actually talk to the vet, because they don't actually want to know what your service was like. They want to make themselves feel good.
That makes themselves feel better.
Yeah, it's more like, oh, thank you for your service. You're like, I was raped. Like, okay, well, I sold secrets to China. Don't thank me for my service. You don't know what I did. No. All I did was sit around and I stole a couple helmets. But I didn't do anything heroic or anything.
All right.
So, but if you say thank you for my service, I'm like, I can't say you're welcome.
Let's just move on, yeah.
No, I just go thank you,
Okay.
But it does irritate me.
Okay. I wonder what the percentage is. I think most people, I say to people sometimes, I just size up guys by their haircut and their build, and sometimes you'll be behind them at the TSA line and they'll hand them their thing back and they'll go, have a safe flight. And they go, thanks, ma'am. And I'll just go, thank you for your service. And they go, thank you. But then I didn't even ask. I can just tell by the haircut and by the way they stand, posture, haircut, and the way they interact with other people in authority.
Yeah, there is a certain air to it.
Yes.
Yeah. But the truth is, like, I think the overwhelming majority of veterans don't want to be thanked. It's not, like, that's not what they're looking for. Mm-hmm. They're not going, like, if they tell you they was in the military and you go, oh, awesome, they're not going to be like, that motherfucker didn't thank me. You know what I mean?
Right.
No thanks.
And
That's my campaign.
I think it's 70% of the younger veterans
don't
say they don't want it.
Are they just kind of being modest? Or are they really mean that it's a lion's share of the veterans don't like it? That seems counterintuitive to me. I would think a percentage wouldn't like it, but a larger percentage would like the recognition.
I do like it when you go to a baseball game or something and they honor a veteran and they on the jumbotron, everyone stands up.
It's a little like Happy Holidays, right? With the Christians with Happy Holidays, where it's like it bothers them a little bit, but not enough to like make a big deal.
Versus Merry Christmas.
Right.
Yeah. I'm with Christmas. I like Christmas. I like it called Christmas. I just like Christmas.
It doesn't bother me either way. I'm just like, I would just, because the truth is, I would just rather you not talk to me. I would just rather not talk to a stranger.
Well, maybe the real offense is the breaking of the wall of conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's the real offense.
I have noise-canceling headphones with me almost all the time. And when I walk through the airport and I see people without headphones on, I'm like, how are you just...
What do you listen to?
You're just doing it raw. So, all type of things. Podcasts, music, mostly music. Sometimes my set.
Rechargeable noise canceling headphones.
Oh yeah. Well, these have like a 30 or 40 hour
charge on them.
Yeah.
And these are big over-the-ear headphones, so people know not like, I don't need to talk to him. He's not going to hear me.
No, that doesn't stop them.
Oh, it doesn't.
People will literally have a whole conversation with you, and then you go, huh? You didn't hear me? Well, obviously I didn't hear you. I set my whole life up to not hear you.
So I like this noise canceling headphone.
Oh, it's the best. And then you push a little button and you can hear everything.
Well, you can hear everything better, I think.
Well, sometimes. It depends on what how expensive they are.
I went out shooting last weekend, and the guy gave me ear protection, and they said, "This is electronic." And I said, I don't know enough to know. And he goes, "Yeah, you turn it on, and it'll cancel the sound of the gunshot." Yeah. But if you put these on and walk around the house, you'll hear people talking shit in the other room. Yeah, it'll amplify what's outside or cancel it.
I think it's called like a noise gate or a frequency gate. So you set a certain frequency, and anything below that gets brought up, and anything above that gets brought down.
I'm not interested in hearing what people have to say about me. I assume it's bad, and I just don't want to know.
Oh yeah, and because I for part of my little time in the service, I was a rifle range coach, and you have to wear those, and you're in charge of all these people. And
you did this in the stand-up, right?
And so you have to know. You have to just get thick skin and like realize like that wasn't for me. Like you walk away and they're like, "Fuck you," But it's like they just getting out their frustration, but you can't respond to it. You know?
But you had those. Yeah, it was weird because I saw that in your special. It was in your special, right?
I don't know.
I must have
definitely that I was in the service was in my special.
No, maybe I heard you on a podcast or something talking about it. I remember hearing you talking about it, and then a few weeks later, I got these noise canceling, but you can hear better, and you wore those on the range.
Yeah.
So you'd be able to hear people talking shit.
Yeah, exactly. And you walk away from somebody like you just told them what to do.
Right.
And you walk away and they're like, "Fucking asshole," and you're just like, whatever.
Yeah, but you had the right attitude about it.
Yeah. Everything's not for you.
Yeah, everything's not for you.
Yeah, stop being nosy.
All right.
So RFK Jr. A lot of stories coming out about him right now. And him saying that he reportedly suffered from a brain parasite, a worm in his brain that ate part of his brain and then died. And so everybody's grasping on this because his campaign is saying, like, look, he's as healthy mentally and physically as he ever was.
Did he die of starvation? I'm kidding. I'm sorry. He's a smart guy.
Well, okay, this is a story from 10 years ago.
Yeah, so it was based off of like a divorce.
I didn't hear about it. August told me about it. Okay, so listen, I guess here'd be the question. Joe Biden has almost no brain at this point, right? Would you rather, and then let's all just think of dumbasses we went to high school with, grew up with, were in the service with, were in the homeless shelter. Yeah. Think of a good dumb guy. Right. Okay. I know them all. Yeah. That grew up with all these guys.
We all have a picture, a person that pops up, right?
I got family members that are in there. For me, it's a collage of family members, guidance counselors, school teachers, foremen from job sites when I work construction. I got a whole collage
like
of people up
in
there.
The Shining.
Yeah, I got a lot. But the whole point is if somebody said, would you rather those people run the country with a fully intact brain or Elon Musk with 3/4 of a brain, I'll take Elon. That's what I'm saying. So the thing about RFK's, he's lucid, he's super bright. I mean, I've seen him speak on several occasions. I've been at the events. That guy just gets up there, stands in front of a group, and goes, in 1971, Monsanto Company spilled 200 metric gallons of weed killer into the Tehachapi River. I was lead counsel on the case that saw that. It was the People versus Monsanto, 62575 in the District Court of Columbia. I was lead counsel in 72. We won $1.7 million for every person who lived in the town. You're like, all right, I don't know if this guy's got half a brain, but he fucking sounds pretty smart to me.
To be fair, the words don't come out that smoothly.
Yeah, that's true. It's got a little rasp.
It's a little bit like he sounds a little bit like one of those, like a creature in the Aliens is like just being born. Like,
yeah. It's not his fault, but I find that's gonna hurt him a lot.
See, if a koala could talk, it might sound like that.
He said it was a vaccine injury, but now how do we know it wasn't the worm?
Oh, you're talking about the voice?
Right.
No, he had the voice. He had the voice before the vaccine.
Before the worm. No, but not before the COVID vaccine. But he's saying,
vaccine.
Right, he's saying a vaccine injured his voice. So how do we know now? How does he know now that it wasn't the worm that fucking
could have been the worm? Yeah. And then also, where's this worm? Because now I'm freaking out.
And also, if the worms eat brains, how did it die in your brain?
Yeah, it's plenty of brain.
Right.
You couldn't pick a better part of the body to find a brain.
Yeah, somebody just get lucky. How did they just find a dead worm in there? That would freak me the fuck out.
So he's doing testimony, and he said a neurologist.
So it was a 2012 deposition, and he said doctors had found a dead worm in his brain. He said that he visited doctors in 2010 who thought he had a brain tumor, and then after doing more looks and scans, found out that it was caused by a worm that got into his brain and ate a portion of it, and then
There's
died.
not much that could throw me off my masturbation schedule back in the day, but dead worm in the brain, I might take a little sabbatical. I don't think I could manage. I think I'd be too up in my head, pardon the pun. I don't think I could go off to some fantasy land. I'd be thinking about it too much.
Is there anywhere worse to find a dead worm in your body?
Than your brain?
Yeah.
Maybe an eyeball.
Maybe your butthole.
Maybe your butthole.
I think butthole would probably be the best place to find it, because...
Yeah?
Yeah, man, it was on the way out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's exiting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or if it was entering it, it would mean you're gay.
Yeah, which way?
The brain's terrifying.
So everyone's on him now because he thinks he's making this up, or...
Well, yeah, so there are a lot of now experts saying, look, this is impossible, it's not adding up.
So he's lying.
Or they're saying, like, look, this sounds like it's more like the larva of a pork tapeworm. Like, this sounds like that's...
Right, but so here's what I'm saying, and here's what I said to Mike August. If an expert told him this and then he repeated it, that's not really on him. That's just what an expert told him, and he then related what the expert said. That doesn't make him a liar and doesn't make it untrue. Now, if the expert comes out of the woodwork and says, I never said anything, he just made that shit up so he could get out of some alimony payments or something, then now it's a different story.
Right.
Is what I'm saying. So who's the expert?
But who makes that up? Like, the judge is like, oh, shit, okay, $1,000 a month.
Well, it was a divorce thing?
Yeah, it was a divorce deposition.
And it was him saying he had a worm in his brain, not his ex-wife.
Right.
Yeah, and it's him saying he couldn't remember stuff.
Short-term and long-term memory loss.
Man, he doesn't have...
I'd be forgetting to write this bitch checks.
He tells stories about going with his dad and riding the train when his dad had on his funeral. You know, back when you'd get assassinated, they'd put your coffin on a train and they just drive it through the country, and the people standing with the little American flags all along the side of the train tracks. It was a better time. So he doesn't have any issues now. So I don't know. The question. So here's the whole point. They're now trying to pull out shit that's 10 years old to see if they can fuck him up.
Right.
Which is the new world order.
Did they leave the worm in there?
I don't know.
Because it does beg the question is like, because either you were lying in a divorce and you were cognizant, or because you can't have it both ways. You can't say I'm smart enough to run the country, but also I don't be remembering shit for your alimony. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but let's think of, well, that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, because you're right. Biden be forgetting shit, so I guess you don't really have to be all the way there to be president.
No, he's not. No, you don't have to. I mean, Biden forgets stuff and then makes stuff up that's crazy as well.
But he wouldn't be the first president. Like we've had several presidents that were actively dying while they were,
Oh, you gotta lie. So here's the thing about the job. The job requires lying.
Right.
It requires lying. So everyone's gonna lie. The question is what kind of lie are you saying, and how checkable is it?
Right. And the big key to being a good liar is you have to remember your lies.
Yeah, and keep them straight.
You can't forget the lie.
Yeah. And don't say true story 3 times in front of the lie, because now my antenna goes up.
So remember, Kennedy, RFK, he's portraying himself as like, oh, I'm the young, more vibrant, healthy guy compared to the other 2 candidates. So this story comes out. I just find it
look, first off, it's going to convince everyone who is of any character to never run for president ever if they're just going to go back into the archives and pull up every fucking deposition, everything you've ever said, take it out of context. I mean, he's going on CNN and they're chopping up stuff and trying to take it out of context about Nazis and Hitler and COVID and everything else. So I don't think at this point anyone cares. I don't think they care about Stormy Daniels. I don't think they care about brain eating worms. I just think let's put them all up on the stage and debate.
I think there's only one way to settle it now.
Dick size.
Dick displacement. There you go.
Get the beaker.
Let's do it.
And you know what? I had a breakthrough.
What's that?
Somehow you've inspired me.
Thank you.
You're the wind beneath my cock wings. I always had it pictured that the guys were laying on the titanium sheet with the hole in it and being lowered down to the graduated cylinder with the, well lit, underlit with the blue water in it. Same water they use in the tampon commercials. You know what I mean? Same color. We'll use the same guys. I now realize as I was talking to you that the platform needs to be locked off, and it's not moving. Okay. The platform's locked off. You lay down on it, and the cylinder raises up.
Oh yeah,
that's where the crowd is going. With chanting.
There's real drama there.
Right. Exactly. And we see more and more coming out, and then it stops. That's where it's the cylinder movement coming down from the floor,
and then we have a cup underneath that collects all the liquid that got spilled out.
Yeah. There's overflow. That's how it. Well, we don't. It'll collect it because that's the shit we send to the lab, and that's a double check.
Right.
But it's really just how far the blue goes down on the line once the thing goes back in.
We should use the people who do the Times Square ball drop. They'll just do it in reverse.
But
they understand theatrics.
We'll get them together with like the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire guys and guys who really know drama and Hollywood. There is one thing I'm worried about now.
What's that?
Okay. There's probably such a thing as a guy who can learn to suck water up through his urethra. Guys are going to train.
Yeah.
There's going to be some ancient art of something. That guy's going to time it just right. He's going to suck up like 3 ounces up the urethra, and the thing's going to drop all the way down, and then the crowd will be dubious. They'll be like, "Oh, wait, he wasn't that. Come on now."
Something. Other people you haven't considered. There's people out there with 2 dicks.
Oh, are there?
Yeah, there's 2-dicked people. Sometimes
they have to pick their biggest one.
Sometimes they do an Ask Me Anything on Reddit. There's a 2-dicked guy that did one a couple of years ago.
Oh, really?
So does he get to do we add his scores together, or does he have to pick his biggest dick?
We're going to treat them like the Special Olympics.
Like you put your best dick forward?
No, they just have their own category, and people, we get a celebrity sponsor for each one of them. We do a PSA, but they get their own.
Get a charity
It's
involved.
like the Special Olympics. They get their own. Yeah, they get their own thing.
That's fair.
There. All right, I think we've sorted this out.
We figured it out.
Do you think there's a guy who could suck fluid up?
Definitely.
There are guys who can do about anything.
Every kind of person exists. If it's within reason, every kind of person is out there. That's what I learned.
Do we need a urethral plug? so that they can't push any fluid down or pull any fluid out.
Well, I think. Look, I mean, as the head of Dick USADA,
testing, the agency.
I don't think we need to preemptively. We gotta wait till it happens before we respond.
Because there are going to be guys threading up like balsa wood into their urethra to soak up fluid.
I put one of those worms in there.
Yeah, there are going to be guys trying to get just a 1/4 ounce of fluid out there if it just soaked up. That's what the corking bats in baseball. We're going to have to watch out.
We need some dirty players.
Yeah, that's why you need to head up. I feel with all the testing you did at the homeless shelter, you're qualified.
Oh yeah.
And we need diversity in the group.
I think I would definitely. I would be the Roger Goodell of the dick measuring. Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah, for sure. I would do that for my country.
All right. Well, let's talk after the show.
Well, thank you for your future service.
Thank you. Yes, Brian Simpson live from the Mothership's the name of the very funny the very funny stand-up special featuring streaming on Netflix right now. The Pod is BS
with Brian Simpson.
And Instagram and Twitter, BS Comedians, where you go. Brian, this has been a bit of all right.
I've had fun, man. Thanks for having me, man.
Thanks for coming in, and hopefully I'll see you at the Mothership sometime soon.
Yeah, come down, check it out.
Brett Cooper plays my daughter, going to be in studio, and we'll do that right after this. Oh, Riley Auto Parts. Well, they're in the business of keeping your car on the road friendly, helpful service, and the parts people with the knowledge who know how to do maintenance and repair. It's so funny. I was just driving up in my old neighborhood the other day on Foothill Boulevard, and I saw the old O'Reilly I always used to go to when I lived in the neighborhood, and I was wrenching on my own car because I had to, because I couldn't afford a lease. I had to fix my own car. So they've got thousands of parts and accessories in stock, either in store or online. You never have to worry. If you're in a jam, they got your part. The team at O'Reilly Auto Parts can test your battery for free in or out of your car, which is very helpful. And if it needs to be replaced, they'll help you find the right one for your vehicle. Need your windshield wipers replaced, a brake light fixed, or a quick service? They'll help you find the right part, or they'll point you to the nearest local repair shop for help. Whether you're an auto aficionado or novice, O'Reilly employees are knowledgeable, helpful, and friendly. They're the professional parts people. So stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam.
And now, Alcoa presents Definitely Not a Jew on the Adam Carolla Show. Dateline, Sumter County, Florida. Following a DUI arrest, a 59-year-old woman was also given charges of attempt to escape and criminal mischief after attempting to pick the lock on her jail cell with the underwire of her bra. Definitely not a Jew.
Brett Cooper is with us. She's an actress, media personality, has 4 million plus subscribers for her show, and the comment section with Brett Cooper. And I did her show, but I didn't comment on anything.
You commented on my driving.
Commented on her driving. Yeah, Mr. Birchum. She plays my daughter, Daily Wire, May 12th at Daily Wire Plus. It's good to see you.
Yeah, happy to be here. Your studio is awesome, by the way.
Thanks.
It's fantastic.
I'm happy to report that when we were doing Mr. Birchum, we had some ideas about casting of certain people and who we'd like to work with, and then Daily Wire had some ideas about who they'd like cast. And I had a chance over the weekend to spend some time with and meet some of the people I didn't know who were in the cast, and I'm happy to report that I'm delighted by all of them. Everyone turned out to be nice, except for you, Brett.
Yeah,
that's
I'm the
worst. That's a profound disappointment. So we went to an F1 simulator in Pasadena, California, a few days ago, and we did we drove on this real simulator. Like
one of the legit ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't so sure. When he walked in, he was like, this isn't real. It's not going to be the real thing. You sat down, you're like, I have driven this track.
Yes.
I'm going to crush it.
Yes.
It's going to be great. And then he sat down and he felt it, and it like, you lean back and it goes, and it rises you, like lifts you up.
Yeah, they have gimbals.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And when you get off the track, the steering wheel gets violent. Like it pulls out of your. I let it go because it'll break your wrist.
Yeah.
And
it's shaking you around. It's very.
So you get into it because it was a track I've driven on many times.
What track?
Laguna Seca. Okay. And I gotta say, so we did it for like an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. And our last session was like, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes. Mm-hmm. And fast, like almost an F1 car speed. Anyway, I got out of the car. I wasn't right for the rest of the day.
I was totally discombobulated.
You were?
Yeah.
Good.
Well, that's why I stopped early, because I finished one lap and it was relatively okay. And it was the first time in a few minutes that I had not completely spun out. Because in the second rounds, we did 3 different cars. And in the second one, I think that was my best. Because I got the hang of the track. I knew what we were doing. The car wasn't too fast. We got into the third one, all hell broke loose. It was like, this is way too fast. Can't control it. Kept spinning out. So I got through one that wasn't too bad. And then I was like, I'm just going to cut my losses, end it here. But you kept going. But I stopped because I did not feel right.
So what was happening to me is I've done that track many times in real cars.
Yes.
And there's a part of that track called the corkscrew that is the famous corkscrew. And everyone goes, oh man, so difficult and challenging, the famous corkscrew. But the reality is it's always come easy to me. It's not that difficult. It looks kind of hairy, but it really isn't if you're there. And I have definitely had my challenges on that track in different parts of that track. Never the corkscrew. It's literally the only part of the track I've never had problems on, and I've had plenty of problems on the track in different cars over years, blah, blah, blah. I could not get that simulated car to go through the corkscrew without sliding off into the tire barrier. Every time. And then the instructor would say, it's because you're doing it wrong and you're not. And I'd almost come to a stop. Like I'd always come to a stop, and then I'd just start creeping down the corkscrew, and the car would violently skid off the tracks. And I'd go, listen, this is not what the corkscrew feels like. I don't want to sound like an asshole, but I've done it. I've been through the corkscrew in a race car 800 times. I would say.
What is the trick when you're there in person? Because I could never figure out where I had to turn. So the guy, he pulled out his iPad and he was doing these little graphics, and he was like, Brett, you are turning at all the wrong times. You're braking. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just slamming on the brakes right and left. But he was trying to show me where I should be braking and turning, and in my head it made sense, but I couldn't figure out. I also think it's because you're coming up that hill, and so you can't see when the corkscrew actually starts in that simulation. So when you're doing it in person, how do you do it perfectly? Since you apparently have never had a problem with it.
I would never typify it as doing it perfectly.
Okay.
I've never been off the track there. Okay. I've never had an issue there. It's always come pretty naturally. It's counterintuitive. It feels weird, but it's normal. And it's a strange experience because most of the time when you get into a simulator, you have no idea what car you're driving, what track you're at, or whatever. I've driven that track so many times that I kept saying, this is weird. This is not right. The simulator doesn't have this thing right where I'm going out of control down this part of the track. But I got out of that simulator after concentrating for the last 40 minutes. And I got home and I sat down and I was like, all right, well, time to get up and get some exercise. And I got up and I was like, no, I'm sitting back down again. I felt scrambled.
Yeah, no, I felt like I had CTE.
Oh, yeah. I felt like I was on my period.
Probably similar. But I think it was a combination of feeling very scrambled. My back kind of hurt from holding onto the steering wheel. But also, the screens are so huge that I feel like I had eye strain as well. Just all of it. Yeah. And I don't know if that is worse or actually being in a race car. Because I'm sure you see the whole suit. I went to Indy 500 for the first time last year. I'm going again.
Oh,
good. I had never.
The greatest.
I had never experienced any of it. I didn't even know that it existed. And I called my mom and I said, okay, one of my sponsors is sending me to, Indy 500. They're sponsoring a car this year. I don't know what it is. And she was like, oh my God, this is the most amazing thing. Like my mom was even in it. Yeah. And it was fantastic. But I was so impressed by the whole getup that they have to wear, the suits that cool them. I mean, it's a whole operation that I just had no idea.
It's a lot easier to drive the car than it is to do the simulator.
I have to do that next.
It is easier. The consequences are greater, obviously, if you get off the track or whatever, but it's just easier. I cannot drive one of those simulators for crap.
I think we got to take it easy on all the gamers now that we know what they're going through versus the real drivers.
Yeah, like your son in Mr. Birchum.
Yeah.
You should have, you got to have some empathy for your fake son.
Kyle Dunnigan. Yeah. Oh, I do have sympathy for Kyle Dunnigan because we did a show last night and it was supposed to start at 8, but it didn't start till like 8:20 because no one could find the club because it was a brand new club. It's the middle of a mall. And then everyone ran the light in that you're supposed to do 15 minutes. They give you a light at 13 minutes, and all the comedians just went right on through. And Kyle, who I ran into at the premiere the night before, wasn't me, but somebody said, Kyle, you should drop in and just do like 10 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes or something with this show. It's got Jay Moore, Jay Leno, Rob Schneider, me, TJ Miller. And someone said, just drop in. He got there first, of course. And then he sat there for 2 hours. There was a late show. And at some point at about like 9:35, 9:40, after he'd been there for 2 hours, someone went, Kyle, everyone went long and we got a late show and Adam hasn't even been on yet. Could we? And I was like, oh, jeez. But he's such a nice guy.
Yeah, it was great meeting him.
And he's a sweetheart. And he's super talented.
He's fantastic.
But he's also super nice because everyone else would have been pissed.
Yeah.
At getting bumped for something you got invited to.
It's the quintessential Hollywood hurry up and wait, where you'll be there for 15 hours and they go, oh, I'm so sorry, you've been in wardrobe sitting in your trailer or waiting in the tent and we're not going to get to you. So,
well, that's the Hollywood part.
That's
Everyone goes, they want you there. And that, I'm always like, they want me there at what time?
Yep.
They want eyes on you.
Yep.
They don't really.
It's control.
Well, they get paid the same whether you sit around for an hour waiting for them or not. And you got to get used to that. But then you will run into this. There will be something where someone is paying you a good amount of money to do something. And they'll go, well, the event starts at 8, but we want you at the venue by 6:15. And then you go, why so early? And they go, hair and makeup. And then you go, all right, we'll back out 8 minutes. Now why so early? And they go, aren't you getting paid enough? And then you go, it's not about the money. I'm just saying, can't I just show up before the thing starts? And then they go, what's with the attitude? And then you're off and running. That's how Hollywood works.
Yeah.
There's only one overly prompt celebrity in all of Hollywood.
Who's that?
Jimmy Kimmel.
Really?
Yeah.
How so?
They would one time. Well, he's just wired like a Japanese student or something. You know what I mean? Like most guys are drunk and drugged up and like, oh, what? You know, we had to do the upfronts. You ever done an upfront?
I know what they are, yeah.
We had to do an upfront in Pasadena at like the Four Seasons Hotel or something on a Sunday. And the upfront started at like 12. And they said, we're going to send the car for you guys at like 10:30 or something. And I said, Sunday, Pasadena, we'll get there in like 25 minutes. And they say 12. They're the upfronts. They're going to start at 12:30. And you and me, Jimmy, we're not going on stage until the middle of the upfronts. We don't lead the upfront. Jon Stewart's going out first, then the Ab Fab women are going out, and then who knows what else. And then we're not going out for a good hour after this thing starts. And I said, let's tell the car to pick us up at 11:30 or noon or something. And he goes, I'm getting that car at 10:30. And if you don't get in the car, then you're walking. And I'm like, I'm not saying we're not going to be. Anyway, smash cut to we get there. They're like setting up chairs. Nobody's around. People are like, what are you doing here? Because they always do this stupid thing where they go, it starts at noon. We'll send the car at 10. And I go, the place is 20 minutes away. We'll send the car. Mm-hmm. And then they go, you go, why are you sending the car at 10 in the morning? The thing starts at noon. It's 20 minutes away. And they go, just let the guy sit there. Then you don't have to get in the car. And I'm like, I don't want the guy to sit in the car for 40 minutes. I feel that's weird and rude. We're sending the car at 10.
It is weird. It is very odd. And I have gotten more comfortable with it as now I've dealt with it more, because I used to be, I would say, more like him, where it's like, no, I'm going to get into it. I'm just going to sit and I'll just wait. I don't care. And now I'm still packing my suitcase. You're already at my house and I have not even zipped it up. The dogs are not fed.
It's weird, but they all wait. Mm-hmm. How'd you get, I saw you at Megyn Kelly's show at Sirius XM.
Yep. When did I leave for that?
I got there as the show was starting.
I think I got there 10 minutes before I went on.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
That's good, because I was on.
Prompt.
Are you surprised how many homeless people you see in Hollywood?
Well, because I lived here for 10 years, so I'm used to it.
Were you in Hollywood?
No, but I was raised in Burbank. And so there weren't as many. When I left, though, in 2021, I had started migrating over to Burbank for sure. I think in the last month that we lived there, and we lived like up Alameda, above Glen Oaks, so right in that area. And I think that there were 3 stabbings and a shooting in that area. And that had always been so safe. And then right after 2020, I mean, all hell just broke loose. But the homelessness is completely out of control now.
Waze has to do a new icon where you're like, I'd like to go the non-homeless route. It's going to take you an extra 41 minutes. Like, I'll do it because I'm severely depressed. I drive from La Cañada, Pasadena, whatever. I have to get to Megyn Kelly's Sirius XM studio right in the middle of Hollywood, and I'm supposed to be there at like 8:45 in the morning.
Rush hour.
So I'm not on this freeway to that freeway to exit Sunset at the studio. It's like get off on Dodger Stadium Way, take that down to Echo Park Drive, go along Tommy Lasorda Drive, go through Glendale Drive, go to Los Feliz. I drove through every homeless encampment in Glendale, and then I drove through every homeless encampment in Hollywood. I was only on side streets, and I just drove through throngs of garbage and homeless people. And I have the same reaction every time. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? How is this working?
Did you see how much money California spent in, I think it's the last 4 years, but Newsom was like proudly saying, oh yes, we've spent this much money. And then you broke down the numbers.
Billions.
And the majority of it went to these nonprofits, and the money in those nonprofits went to the executive salaries. So it's an absolute waste. An absolute waste.
It's done we spent billions of dollars, and it was just garbage and tents. And everyone, where we had the Birchum premiere, it was just tent city across the street. I mean, I
didn't think we were at the right place.
It's real.
But that's Hollywood.
It's depressing. It's depressing for the people who live there and work there and try to get along there. And it seems so solvable, and yet here we are, $24 billion California spent. And
that's
now
just absolutely wild. And the thing is, and we pay them, and they're on the streets. And I can say this, and this is, I don't actually think I've ever talked about this, but my brother was actually homeless in Pasadena.
Oh, really?
For many years.
Many years?
Many years. 3 or so when I was a teenager. And he's schizophrenic.
I was about to say, is he schizophrenic?
Yes, he's schizophrenic.
The only way that works.
And refused to be med compliant. So my mom said, you cannot live here. You either need to go check yourself into a hospital, but you cannot be under our roof with your teenage sister if you are not med compliant. And so he walked out the door and went to Pasadena, and they paid him thousands of dollars a week to be homeless.
Really?
Yes, and he got food stamps. And I was joking with my team about this yesterday because we went over to Pasadena. I did community college at Pasadena City College for a couple of years. So I took them over there and we were shooting a vlog. I was like, this is where I went to school.
Your team.
Yep. And I took them over to the taco truck, all of this stuff. And as we were driving through Pasadena, I was like, oh, this is the park where my brother was homeless for a couple of years. And that's the Whole Foods that he would be able to go buy things at with his food stamps. He would be able to go and buy expensive, nice cheeses that he loves.
That's where he get his kombucha.
Yes, literally. That was literally, I mean, it was the most laughable thing. And obviously, like, I adore him. You know, he was dealing with a lot. There's a lot going on. But the system is completely corrupt. And I've met so many homeless people that he was on the street with, because I would go check on him and I would go see my brother and his grocery cart. And they loved being homeless because they were getting paid. And it's like, yeah, why would I? Like, they would go and meet with their, like their advisor, whatever you call that, who like signed off for their Social Security, and they would make themselves sound crazier so that they could get extra money. So it's like, oh yeah, well, I went in and I said I had seen aliens. I did all this stuff. And then they got, I mean, it's absolutely wild. And California is footing the bill for all of that. The problem only gets worse. They're not dealing with the drug problem at all. I mean, it's just a mess.
Yeah, well, it attracts homeless from other places
well,
that
it's
are
the sunshine.
It's
good
that,
weather.
and it's also the getting's good. Like, there's more benefits, there's more Whole Foods, there's more soft cheese, you know, there's more kombucha. Like,
there is.
People, it's like what the people that make the policies have no idea how sort of human beings work. Like, when they're really distilled down to the elements, you know, it's like, you put people in prison and you deprive them of alcohol, and they figure out a way to make wine in the toilet of their cell. That's the humanity is crazy. And it's the same as, you know, the cartels. You know, you tell them pot's legal now. You can't sell pot. They start getting into human trafficking. You know, they're just the most resourceful in the world. And the resourceful thing doesn't have anything to do with education, and doesn't have anything to do with how many languages you can speak. The people on the street are like the human beings that they're most resourceful.
Yes.
And it's almost like Tom Hanks on an island. You know, you just drop a guy off and he starts figuring out a way.
Yeah.
You know, and next thing you know, he's got an ice skate and he's cutting it in, he's drinking coconut milk. Like, that's just what people do. And when you dump them on the street, they do that. And so anything where you go, look, I'll tell you what, we're going to give you a little bit of money, but you can't use the money for drugs, but you have to use the money for food and shelter. They go, yeah, okay. Then they get the money, then they spend the money on the drugs, and they panhandle the money to buy the food or the shelter or whatever it is. Whatever it is you don't want them to do, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Because they're desperate and you're lazy.
Yes.
And you're spending other people's money.
You're lazy,
that is
but
not
you're
your
also
money. It's other people's money. So you start spreading around the money, and you're lazy, and you're sort of like it becomes a racket.
Yeah,
and
well,
then you
lazy and entitlement, and you feel you feel so wonderful because you're doing this. We're spending, what was it, $24 billion?
$24
we're so amazing. And you're just making the problem worse. But they get to say that they're spending it, and they get to feel absolutely fantastic about it.
And these people, I mean, Gavin Newsom sat where you're sitting over 10 years ago and told me that the homeless issue was his number one issue. That was his number one issue. He should be thrown out of office simply based on that. Just going, here's my number one issue. Like, it'd be like me saying, I'm your new roommate, number one issue, termites. And then 10 years later, the house has to be condemned because of the termite problem. Well, if I made that proclamation, that would mean I'm really bad at what I did. He made that proclamation. He's always made that proclamation. And all the problem has gotten is worse. And all we've done is spend more money. So obviously he's feckless and a complete disaster at whatever he sets his mind to. And it's not just homelessness. It's whatever he focuses on turns to shit. So he should be voted out just for that.
I agree. That's why I left.
Are you in Tennessee now?
I am, yeah.
Are you going to the Daily Wire on a daily basis?
Yes. Yeah. I film my show there every morning, 9:30 a.m.
It's a beautiful campus.
Yeah. It is. I love my studio. They rebuilt it while I was in Budapest filming the Pendragon cycle, and so I came home and I sort of knew what they were doing, and they were making it very personalized. But it's just they're so wonderful and it's so sick.
Have you noticed? I have this observation every single time I go to Daily Wire. Mm-hmm. All the young conservative people who work there are so much more polite than young non-conservative people. Yes. Young non-conservative people are assholes.
Yeah.
They're horrible. Like 22-year-old progressive people think they're the boss of you, think you're some old white guy, think you're not paying your fair share. I mean, to be fair, why would they like you? You're not paying your fair share. You're part of the oppressor. Your family owns slaves. You're destroying.
You're a bigot.
You're a bigot, and you're destroying the globe because you're spending and your fuel use and everything. It would make sense that they hate you, but they're self-entitled pricks. Yeah. Everyone here is progressive who's under the age of 30 is a horrible human being. And then you go to the Daily Wire and there's some 22-year-old and they go, "Hi, sir. How are you? Good day. Thank you for coming." And it's like, it's a totally different energy.
They're genuinely joyful. They are genuinely fulfilled. And I actually did an episode about this recently. And we were talking about all the things that the left attacks the right for, but they're all like fantastic things. It's like, you work out all the time and you're skinny. That's far right. You see that article where it was like fitness is far right?
Yes.
There was the Natal conference, which was their whole goal was to talk about population decline and how they could encourage people to start families. So there was a whole article that was published about like, why is the right trying to force people to have babies? And it's like, okay, so, and then also being attractive is apparently a far right thing. And then you have pretty privilege if you're on the far right and you're attractive, and that's obviously you can't have that. And so I was reading all these tweets and reading these articles, and I was like, all right, so you're saying that we are fit, we are attractive, and we are fulfilled, and we have babies, and it's wonderful. Yeah, we're well adjusted. It's like, what are you offering your people? Genuinely, it's like everything sounds fantastic over here, but it does convey when you are meeting young people on the right. I mean, genuinely so kind, so happy, unbothered for the most part.
Well, also, they get to have fun. They get to go to barbecues and
get to enjoy their life,
listen to Kid Rock, and not have to wring their hands over what's going on in Palestine and what's going on with the polar caps melting.
Yep.
You know, they're just, the idea. So I come from a hippie mom, and the deal with the hippie mom is all they would do is fret all day, every day about everything that was wrong with this country. And so how could you be in a good demeanor if your default setting was, what we did to the indigenous people? This is their land, and then we raped the land. I don't know. Raping the land always feels a little weird to me. But
that's a better phrase.
Raping the land is up there with
Saltburn.
Slave wages. Like, I don't think there was slave wages, and I don't know that anyone raped the land. But anyway, that's all we did. All they did was talk about how horrible we were.
Yeah.
How could you be joyous? Like, how could you go out and have a weekend barbecue and crack a beer and eat some ribs if all you did was talk about raping
and then they make up problems that don't exist just because they have now settled in this perpetual victimhood, and that is their default state.
Yes.
So of course then you are creating problems that don't exist so that you can continue that because you don't feel like yourself. That is like, I need to be angry about something.
Yes. Yeah. How can you enjoy yourself with what's going on? How can I bring a child into this world?
Yep. That's why they hate it, because having children is the most hopeful thing that you can do.
Yes.
It is the most positive thing that a human being can do. Like, that is why they hate it.
Well, could you imagine being a 28-year-old woman and go, well, I'd like to have kids, but the Earth's going to end in the next 14 years, so I'm not going to do that to a kid. How perpetually depressed would you be? I would be horribly depressed.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, also, it's illogical. Listen to Al Gore. He's been saying that for the last 40 years. It hasn't happened yet. That's my father. Love him to death, but obsessed with. I'm actually distantly related to Al Gore.
Oh, really?
So it's shocking that I'm not, some depressed environmentalist. But yeah, he's a distant cousin. My grandfather's Lennox Gore. We're in the Gore family somehow.
Did you fly here privately?
I did. Yes.
Yeah. So
my carbon. My carbon footprint that we're just going to ignore now.
I don't know. So your dad is.
My dad is an environmentalist for sure. My dad has a lot of common sense. He's one of the smartest people I've ever met. Very intelligent, very well read, but environmentalism is his one thing. And I remember growing up, my parents are divorced now, but that was like the biggest political fight that they would have. My mom would she's like, it's not, the polar caps are not melting. Like, the world is not ending. You'd be like, Diane, it is.
Does he ever get tired of being wrong, or does he just keep going? Because these guys have a perpetual energy for being wrong.
I haven't heard him talk about it recently, though, so I think maybe he's cutting his losses and realizing that maybe my mom was right about that. He's moved on to other issues.
Issues.
Yeah.
Race, gender.
No, well, now he's on good stuff. Now, when we text, he's very concerned about free speech on college campuses. So he's moving in the right direction. He's watching the comment section.
You've got him to turn the corner.
Yeah.
There is an article, Byron, you can maybe find. I don't know why. It's been roiling around my head for a while. But some professor from San Diego State or UC San Diego, I think a female, I think it was about 6-7 years ago, just basically said, look, here's what's best for people. Picket fence, family, marriage, kids, job, religion. Basically just saying the old life. Ozzie and Harriet. Don't get pregnant when you're in high school. Don't have family before you get married. Get your education, get married, then have your family, get a house, have a white picket fence, and they fired her.
Oh,
they literally just went, we don't want any of this stuff.
Okay, I have it's sort of connected, but did you see that Boy Scouts of America changed their name?
Oh, yeah.
To Scouting America? Okay, so under their post, somebody replied and posted a photo from the introduction of the original Boy Scouts of America handbook from 1911. And I'm very passionate about this. My whole family was in the Scouts. I never did, but my brothers are all Eagle Scouts. My parents were troop leaders. Yes.
Well, you can join the Boy Scouts now. So
now I can. Well, that's the thing, is that I desperately wanted to be a Boy Scout because I have only brothers, and so that was what I knew. And my mom said, you're a chick, you can't be in it. And tough luck. If I'd only waited 5 more years, I could have been. But posted this photo of the introduction. And the whole introduction from 1911 is talking about how people have lost sight of what is good and moral and traditional. And they were going through things like, we are losing, religion has lost its stronghold. People are working in industry, only specialized industry, so they're losing their normal skills. They can't work with their hands anymore. Men are not as capable. They're focusing on other things. They're having children too early, like out of wedlock, all of these things, and that is why the Boy Scouts was created. They literally said, degeneracy is the word, and they talked about the fall of Rome and said Rome was once full of soldiers, and then at the end it was all the audience watching a few gladiators, and nobody else knew how to fight like they did. It became a spectacle. And they said degeneracy is what is happening, and that is why we have created the Boy Scouts. Flash forward over 100 years later, we're seeing the same exact thing in our society, and then the organization that was designed to address that, to bring moral, traditional good back to young men, is now allowing anybody to join. It's actually genderless. I watched an interview with the CEO, and he was like, we just want you to bring your authentic self. It's like, screw you.
We need them more than ever.
Yes, but the commenter who put that image there got blocked by Boy Scouts of America, well, not Scouting America, for simply posting that because so many people retweeted it. It's like, this is such an embarrassment. Anyway, that was my aside.
I like your side. I like your take. And
Wild.
all it's going to do, all it really does is create a bigger chasm between the people who are waiting to have kids and getting married and doing it. And it's going to create an underclass that's even further. The gap is going to grow even bigger, because the reality is even the most liberal asswipes in Santa Monica for their own family will not tolerate that kind of life. They're like, you're going to college, you're studying, you're not getting married when you're 19, you're not having kids at 17. Like, they do not preach what they practice. What they practice is a kind of conservative life. What they preach is, trans rights and all the other things, but they don't buy into any of it.
There was a study recently that said that the majority of women in the world actually want children, believe that motherhood is as important or more important than a career. They have traditional values, but they refuse to call themselves conservatives. They're way too scared to. They think that they'll get alienated by their peers. And they're like, no, we don't want to say that, but all of their values are traditional. So they preach this absolute BS to the world, but what they're living and what they're hoping for and striving for is completely opposite.
Conservative values are, as I always say, diet and exercise. Like, you can talk all the fad diets and all the Nutrisystem you want, all the Weight Watchers, fudge bars and stuff, or you can just do diet and exercise, and it'll clean everything up, and it'll
correct.
Work. All right, the show, Mr. Birchum, everybody. Brett plays my daughter and does a wonderful job. That's going to be May 12th on Daily Wire. Wait a minute.
Daily Wire Plus.
Daily Wire Plus. Oh, May 12th. We passed May 12th, right?
No, we're not. May 12th is Sunday.
Well, this airs Monday, so yes.
Yeah.
So May 12th, yesterday.
Yesterday, it premiered. That's right. All right. Put a note. The comment section with Brett Cooper as well is, it's out on Daily Wire Plus right now. Let's see. I'm going to be in Vegas at Kimmel's Club Thursday, and then a bunch of other dates at Kimmel's Club. And then the Irvine Improv, I'll be there with Brad Williams May 23rd. And you go to adamcarolla.com for all my live shows. And until next time, this is Adam Carolla for Brett Cooper and Brian Simpson and Chris Max Battis saying, Mahala.